NLWN-TV presents In the Pits with John Fellens. John is going to rev you up for tonight's racing action. So now, let's head into the pits.
Good evening and welcome to In the Pits. I'm John Fellens, and tonight we're getting ready to bring you WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin. Tonight it's the Credit King Friday Night Racing. Coming up tonight, we'll see action from the Street Stocks, the Midwest Modifieds, the Super Stocks, the Pure Stocks, the WISSOTA Modifieds, and the Hornets. Then as a special feature, we'll also have the Sprint Cars racing. Yet to come on In the Pits, we'll take a look at last week's results and see how that sets us up for tonight's action. Then we'll have another edition of Track Talkin' with our former driver, Ben Zabel, where we will continue our talk about what's probably the most important topic in dirt track racing, and that's safety. Tonight we'll focus on car safety. All of that coming up right after this quick pit stop. You're watching In the Pits on NLWN-TV.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to In the Pits. We're getting ready to bring you WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway. Tonight we have Credit King Friday Night Racing. We're going to see action in 6 classes of stock cars plus the sprint cars. Last week at the Eagle Valley Speedway, the racers were in action for the 19th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial by Krug's Towing and Lisa Lou. Race organizers deserve a shout out as the weather was threatening all night and getting the races in was doubtful. However, Jerry and his crew kept things moving and the rain, thunder, and lightning held off till just after the Hornets finished running. The street stock feature saw Mondovi native Danny Richards in car 3R get his 4th feature win of the season as he went from pole position to checkered flag over Lady Smith's Adam Saltis and 3rd place finisher from Iron River, Wisconsin, Andrew Hansen. In the Midwest Modified feature, Derek Haas from Thorpe, Wisconsin made his trip to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane in car 80. Derek started on the pole and stayed in 1st place throughout to capture the win over last week's winner, Jay Richardson from Spring Valley. Shane Holupka from Greenwood held on for 3rd place. In the Superstock division, Mason, Wisconsin's Nick Oreskevich in car 21F also used the pole position to cruise to victory over Tommy Richards from Mondovi and Kurt Myers from Cameron. Due to weather, the WISSOTA Modifieds was moved ahead of the Pure Stocks, and Elmwood native Jake Hartung in car 05 used an early start to his advantage, working his way up from a 9th place starting position to capture the checkered flag. He was able to edge ahead of pole sitter Dave Kane from Corcoran, Minnesota, and Jim Falls' own Mike Anderson. The Pure Stocks feature race saw Cameron native Mike Schneider in car 7 heading to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane for the 2nd time this season. He was able to cross the finish line ahead of Lady Smith's Ryan Olson and Hagen, Wisconsin's James Ron. Wrapping up last week's actions, Eau Claire's Derek Crumry returned to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane for the 5th time this season in car 33. He was able to defeat Stanley's Chad Halterman, who started on the pole, and Jason Yunker, who was also from Stanley. That sets us up for some real battles heading into tonight's action. The street stock division sees a tight contest between Mondovi's Danny Richards and Medford native Cody Coomer. Last week, Richards slightly extended his lead over Coomer to 52 points. Still sitting comfortably in 3rd place is rookie Cole Richards from Mondovi, who's 297 points off the pace. The Midwest Modifieds are currently led by Shane Holupka, who is closely pursued by Derek Haas. Last week, Haas was able to close the gap to a mere 19 points behind Holupka. Elkmount's Steve Haas remains in 3rd place at 172 points back. Menominee's Tony Faulkner still leads the Superstock division. However, Mondovi's Tommy Richards continues to close the gap to only 74 points. Meanwhile, Cameron's Kurt Myers moved up to recapture 3rd place at 284 points off the pace. The Pure Stocks saw very little change, with Travis Hazelton leading the way, followed closely by Mondovi's George Richards, who is only 37 points back. Rookie driver Ryan Olson from Ladysmith is keeping pace at 135 points off the lead. The WISSOTA Modified C. Mike Anderson continuing to lead the way, extending his lead over Mike Knops over Chippewa Falls to 119 points. Remaining in third place is Steve Hallquist from Eau Claire, who's 218 points back. The Hornets see no change in the standings, with Derek Crumry extending his lead over Danny Halterman to 167 points. They are followed by rookie driver from Durand, Wisconsin, Jocelyn Carruthers, who is currently securely in third place at 269 points off the pace. The results of tonight's action could lead to some major changes in the standings. Coming up on In the Pits, we'll have another episode of Track Talkin' with our former driver, Ben Zabel, where we continue our talk about safety, probably the most important topic when it comes to dirt track racing. This week, we'll focus on car safety. All of that coming up right after this quick pit stop. You're watching In the Pits on NLWN-TV.
Whether your car is in need of routine maintenance or a repair service, First Choice Mobile Repair's ASE certified mechanics strive for your complete satisfaction. What's more, they make house calls. That's right, they'll come to you. So whether you're in need of a jump start, changing a flat tire, brake services, battery replacement, electrical diagnosis and repair, or maybe your check engine light is on, let First Choice Mobile Repair take care of the problem. They also do small engine repair. Call First Choice Mobile Repair at 715-559-5219. Time now for Track Talkin', where John and Ben talk about some of the details of dirt track racing. And now, Track Talkin'.
We're back here on Track Talkin'. We're also back with Ben Zabel here. Ben, we finished up last weekend. We were talking a little bit about safety. Mm-hmm. What kind of safety modifications are done to the vehicles?
So with the cars themselves, the drivers have their own set of safety. You have your helmets, you have your fire suit, you have your neck brace, and your 5-point and all that good stuff. Now, there are a lot of other safety features that go into the car. Now, you have this giant tubular piece called a roll cage, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a cage in case the car rolls. Now, that actually adds structure to the car as well. So when you're building your roll cage, it is actually stiffening up the whole chassis of the car. But if the car is in the event of a rollover, it doesn't crush. And like in the case of the Hornets or the Piers and the street stocks, like I said, these were possibly once streetable cars. So they didn't come with this structure built into it, so they have to add it. And when you take out a windshield out of your standard car, that takes away a lot of the structural integrity. So you have to add something in there to do that. Right.
Now, when you're going to build a race car, as you're talking about the Hornets, the Piers, the Hornets
Streets.
and the Piers and the Streets, you make a lot of modifications to them. You mentioned the windows. You're going to put custom seats in it. You're going to pull as much of the interior out as you possibly can.
Yep.
What about fuel tanks? How is that addressed?
So fuel tanks, you have a fuel cell. You have an actual tank. It's usually a square one, and there's a fuel pump on top of that. Now that is relocated to inside of the vehicle. Now, and there's two reasons for that. Number one is safety. And the other reason is because when you go across the track, if you get down into the bottom side of those corners, you see those tires. And if you catch one of those tires or somebody else's car, something happens, that can rip a hole right through the bottom of a fuel tank.
Right.
And a big pile of gas on a track is not a good thing.
It is not a good thing. Now, we mentioned rolling. Mm-hmm. In a standard car, you roll your vehicle, there's going to be a little bit of fuel dripping out. What do racers do to prevent that?
You get out of the car before it happens.
Fair enough. What kind of modifications or designs would be built into the track to aid in the driver's safety?
So as far the number one thing is safety of the track. If you look, you see that big concrete barrier that's around the outside of the track. Now, when a car comes up on that too high and they hit that barrier, that makes sure that they don't go past that point, because if they carry all that energy, all that forward momentum past that concrete barrier and they go up off the side, they can cause a serious wreck and cause some serious injuries as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, along the grandstands, there's fencing, hopefully, to catch anything that would be flying out.
Yeah, because you can have debris from a wreck, a tire can come off, and that's why that fence is there. It protects the spectators. And then you also have, like I said, you got those tires in the bottom edge, and that's more so a reminder, because you do bounce over you can go over those tires, but it's not a fun ride.
I imagine not. You don't want to have your wheels coming off the ground as you're driving.
Right.
Although we did talk in a private conversation about the modified cars, how they tend to glide on 3 wheels, but that's an intended glide. You don't want to do that unintendedly.
Right. They set their drift coming through. So when they come into the corners, they want to hold their line, but those cars have so much power that they can't take that corner without sliding it. And so when you watch them and they come through that corner, and they will actually have that inside tire just hanging off the ground, hanging in the air. So they're sliding on the back too and steering with one tire essentially.
That is crazy. Ben, we thank you for everything you've explained to us here in the last few weeks. He's been awesome to have with us. You've been watching Track Talking. Folks, we'll have WISSOTA Racing Action coming up here in just a couple minutes. You're watching NLWN-TV.
You've been watching Track Talkin' on NLWN-TV. Coming up next, WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
You've been watching In the Pits with John Fellens. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Racing Action on NLWN-TV.
All right, Monroe, you ready? Monroe. Here we go, the butterfly. Ready? Ooh.
NLWN-TV proudly presents WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin. WISSOTA Racing Action is brought to you in part by these Eagle Valley Speedway sponsors. Haas & Sons Incorporated for all your concrete, aggregates, excavation, and trucking needs. Park Ridge Distribution with a complete line of Budweiser products. Goulet's Auto at 401 Bay Street in Chippewa Falls. Collision Center, your auto body professionals in Chippewa Falls. Tim's Automotive Machine of Bloomer for racing engines, machining services, and dyno services. Contact Tim's Automotive Machine in Bloomer. Southwest Chevrolet Buick and GMC, serving the Chippewa Valley for over 60 years from the same Bloomer location. River Country Co-op and Senex Stations, a member-owned co-op providing you with a wide range of services and products. Credit King of Chippewa Falls, and they can help you get into a new-to-you car, even if your credit isn't perfect. Rock Auto for all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com. Baxter Engines, serving Eau Claire since 1946. There's virtually no limit to their machining ability. And Baxter Speed Shop and Custom Machine on Center Road in Dorchester. Express Disposal. For residential or commercial service, trust Express Disposal of Thorpe. Art Snowmobile and ATV of Cornell, your headquarters in the area for new, used parts, along with accessories for all your trail and racing needs. Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. For all your glass and auto glass needs, look no further than Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. The Edge on Lake WISSOTA, large dining area, outdoor deck and patio, private boat slips. Sounds like dinner time at the Edge. Northwest Coin and Machine Company in Bloomer, your specialist in coin-operated amusement machines. Mitch Shackleton of Chippewa Heavy Haul, 2252 Olson Drive in Chippewa Falls. JP Mechanical Plumbing and Heating of Oliva, residential or commercial plumbing and heating services for the Chippewa Valley. Dan Hindle Electric, your source for electronic equipment and supplies in Abbotsford. Jayco Plumbing and Heating, 800 West Business 29 in Abbotsford. And Union Trailer and Power Equipment of Chippewa Falls. Whether it's lawnmowers up to tractors and implements, Union Trailer and Power Equipment has it for you. And now, out to the track for WISSOTA Racing Action.
Good evening and welcome from the Eagle Valley Speedway here.
And John, it's not such a good evening.
No, in fact, we just got word from track owner Jerry. The show has been canceled tonight due to rain.
We got here, it had not started raining. There was a nice breeze, scattered sunshine on occasion, and just about the time we got all of our equipment set up, it started pouring.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time down in the pits tonight talking to a few drivers and getting some information from them. And I mean, it's not all for naught. We're probably not going to see the sprints at this point.
No, and it's unfortunate. These drivers put a lot of work and effort in getting their car ready for tonight, and they're not going to get a chance to run them tonight. But as you can see by looking down at the track, it's nothing but standing water on top of mud, and it would be incredibly dangerous for them to go out and race tonight. They have a big event planned for tomorrow night, and they don't want anything to mar that. And so no word on makeup, or if they're going to even try to make anything up.
My understanding of how makeups are, talking to a few of the drivers, is that they will run the races in conjunction with next week.
Except that next week are the season championships. So that could put a little crimp in things. They might just call things as they stand and set up for the season championships from there. Those are just our speculations, and we'll just have to wait and see.
I mean, it's unfortunate we're losing out on these 1,600-pound sprint cars tonight. I mean, they're pushing 400 horse. That would have been a lot of fun to see. Had a chance to...
it might have been fun to see him in the mud.
It might have been. I had a chance to go down and talk with a couple of the Hornet drivers. I spoke with Derek Crumry, and he was really looking forward to tonight. He said his car's just been on rails this year. It took him a while to get it set up properly for the speedway. As he said, it's one of the more difficult speedways they race, and he's got it hooked up and in line. I talked to Danny Halterman. He's been having some issues as of late. He said he tore up his front end last week or 2 weeks ago, and he finally got it pieced together and wanted to kind of see how it ran. So that's obviously not going to happen. Talking to Lou Puzio, who's a Midwest Mods driver, and he felt that he had a good setup going on his ride. And I mean, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, Kennedy Swan was down there tonight, and she looked excited to run, but...
And you know what? They're going to be back here next week. And you know what else? So will we. Yeah. So 1 week from tonight, we'll be right back here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. It will be Baxter's Season Championship. And we're going to be here to cover it for you right here on NLWN-TV. Our cameraman tonight was Dan Petschow. Our switcher operator, she didn't have to do very much tonight, was Ann Monroe. And I'm Rick Olson. John Fellins is your regular race announcer. Scott Teefs is the track announcer. And you know what? We get to go home and have a Saturday or a Friday evening at home. And that means a Monday evening where we don't have to do too much because life is going to happen.
I'm probably going to stick around here for a little while. I'm sure there's going to be a few racers. I'll get a chance to get some opinions from them. There's a fine
drinking establishment just behind the grandstands here at the Eagle Valley Speedway. Come on out, get the whole experience next week. It's, as Rick said, it's the Baxter's Engine Championship night.
And it'll be a lot of fun. And wouldn't you know, the rain has stopped. There's blue sky heading our way right now as I speak to you, but the track is just not recoverable tonight.
No, and it would take them an hour and a half to even get into raceable conditions.
And then it's just too late to do anything. So we're going to see you next week. So for the whole crew, the NLWN-TV crew, have a great evening and join us again next week for WISSOTA Racing Action from Eagle Valley Speedway.
You've been watching WISSOTA Racing Action from the Eagle Valley Speedway in Jim Falls, Wisconsin on NLWN-TV. WISSOTA Racing Action is brought to you in part by these Eagle Valley Speedway sponsors. Haas & Sons Incorporated for all your concrete, aggregates, excavation, and trucking needs. Park Ridge Distribution with a complete line of Budweiser products. Goulet's Auto at 401 Bay Street in Chippewa Falls. Collision Center, your auto body professionals in Chippewa Falls. Tim's Automotive Machine of Bloomer for racing engines, machining services, and dyno services. Contact Tim's Automotive Machine in Bloomer. Southwest Chevrolet Buick and GMC, serving the Chippewa Valley for over 60 years from the same Bloomer location. River Country Co-op and Senex Stations, a member-owned co-op providing you with a wide range of services and products. Credit King of Chippewa Falls, and they can help you get into a new-to-you car, even if your credit isn't perfect. Rock Auto for all the parts your car will ever need, rockauto.com. Baxter Engines, serving Eau Claire since 1946. There's virtually no limit to their machining ability. And Baxter Speed Shop and Custom Machine on Center Road in Dorchester. Express Disposal. For residential or commercial service, trust Express Disposal of Thorpe. Arch Snowmobile and ATV of Cornell, your headquarters in the area for new, used parts, along with accessories for all your trail and racing needs. Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. For all your glass and auto glass needs, look no further than Clearview Auto Glass in Bloomer. The Edge on Lake WISSOTA, large dining area, outdoor deck and patio, private boat slips. Sounds like dinner time at the Edge. Northwest Coin and Machine Company in Bloomer, your specialist in coin-operated amusement machines. Mitch Shackleton of Chippewa Heavy Haul, 2252 Olson Drive in Chippewa Falls. JP Mechanical Plumbing and Heating of Oliva, residential or commercial plumbing and heating services for the Chippewa Valley. Dan Hindle Electric, your source for electronic equipment and supplies in Abbotsford. Jayco Plumbing and Heating, 800 West Business 29 in Abbotsford. And Union Trailer and Power Equipment of Chippewa Falls. Whether it's lawnmowers up to tractors and implements, Union Trailer and Power Equipment has it for you. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Victory Lane, where we take a look back at today's racing action.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things. But all of them are pure love.
I don't remember how it started.
What's that?
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Time now for Victory Lane, where we take a look back at today's racing action. So now, back out to the Speedway and Victory Lane. Welcome back to the Eagle Valley Speedway. John, Dan, and Ann are busily packing up our equipment as racing tonight has been rained out. That sets up an interesting situation. The points for the track championships in the various classes are locked up for the season. Next week will be the Baxter Engine Championships, and these season champions and others will race to further their statewide points. So, let's take a look at those Eagle Valley track standings. In the WISSOTA Street Stocks, finishing the season in third place is rookie driver from Mondovi, Cole Richards, with 1,035 points. Finishing just ahead of Cole is Medford's Cody Coomer, who amassed 1,280 points. And the season champion for the Street Stocks is Mondovi native Danny Richards with 1,332 points, as well as 4 trips to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane. In the Midwest Mods, finishing the season in third place is Elk Mound Steve Haas with 1,085 points. In second place is Thorpe's Derek Haas, who garnered 1,238 points. And the season champion for the Midwest Mods is Greenwood native Shane Halupka with 1,332 points and 6 trips to Victory Lane. In the Super Stocks, finishing the season in third place is Kurt Myers from Cameron. He ended the season with 934 points. Capturing second place is Mondovi's Tommy Richards with 1,144 points and 7 feature race victories. And the season champion for the Super Stocks is Menominey's Tony Faulkner with 1,218 points. In the Pure Stocks, finishing the season in third place is rookie driver from Ladysmith Ryan Olson with 1,235 points. Finishing just ahead of Ryan is Mondovi's George Richards, who amassed 1,333 points and 4 trips to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane. And the season champion for the Pure Stocks is Chippewa Falls native Travis Hazelton with 1,370 points, as well as 6 trips to Victory Lane. In the WISSOTA Modifieds, finishing the season in third place is Eau Claire's Steve Hallquist with 996 points. Second place goes to Chippewa Falls native Mike Knops, who garnered 1,095 points, and the season champion for the WISSOTA Modifieds is Jim Falls native Mike Anderson, who captured 1,214 points, as well as 4 trips to the Haas Incorporated Victory Lane. And in the Hornets, finishing the season in third place is rookie driver from Durand, who used 4 top 5 finishes to capture 1,003 points, Jocelyn Carruthers. Finishing just ahead of Jocelyn is Stanley's Danny Halterman, who amassed 1,105 points. And the season champion for the Hornets is Eau Claire native Derek Crummery with 1,272 points, as well as 5 trips to Victory Lane. So hats off to those season champions at the Eagle Valley Speedway. You can see them race at Eagle Valley Speedway next Friday night in the Baxter Engine Season Championships, where they will be trying to improve their standing in the WISSOTA overall standings. And of course, we'll have all the action for you 1 week from tonight right here on NLWN-TV as we bring you more WISSOTA Racing Action. So for our entire NLWN-TV crew, this is Rick Olson saying good night, everyone. You've been watching Victory Lane on NLWN-TV. You've been watching Victory Lane with a look back at today's racing action. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
too many romantic dreams. Open lights falling off the silver screen. My heart's like an open book for the whole world to read. Sometimes nothing